Hey, welcome everybody. So we're gonna be doing the Claude 101 Year First Prompt course. So let's get to it. And I'll add the link in the description still. So yeah. So the first thing we see is this video. But if you've been watching watching these videos, you know, say yo, we read the code first, like we read the article first, and then we watch the video. So the first thing is your first prompt. You talk to Claude Code like you would any AI assistant. When entering your prompt, here are some things to consider that can both protect you and make things easier. So the first thing it says is auto accept versus approval. And if you don't want to see this side over here, you can just hide this. It helps you focus more, I feel like. So it says auto accept versus approval. You can choose whether Claude auto accepts every file change it suggests or whether it asks for your explicit permission each time. Press Shift plus Tab to cycle between modes. Alright, so you have two modes that we can be using Claude in. So one of them is approval mode or auto accept mode. So for approval mode, Claude asks permission each time it wants to edit a file or run a command. If you want to make it that like Claude pretty much for auto accept mode, file edits are automatically approved, but commands still require permission. So two different modes, and you switch between them using Shift plus Tab. Let's just check this out real quick. So we have our terminal here, and we have Claude over here. So let's just try Shift and Tab. And you see the different modes right here changing. So accept edits on, plan mode on, or auto mode on. So we can just change the different modes right there. So maybe we'll jump back to our article for read. So it said there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? So it's a plan mode. Within the Shift plus Tab menu is plan mode, which you saw earlier. Plan mode takes your prompt and uses read-only tools to analyze your code base, research your suggested implementation. It will ask clarifying questions along the way, then return a detailed plan it can execute. So that it don't really start do anything, you know, like how before we just ask Claude something like it just starts building a whole entire app. This will be more so just bouncing ideas, might ask you some extra follow-up questions or stuff like that. And then maybe once it's done, then you can switch to, you know, having it start actually building, so the switching the mode back. So plan mode is great for planning complex changes or doing a safe code review. Many times you'll be asking Claude to handle multi-step implementations towards a feature. So if it's a complex feature and it's like different parts, it's better to handle that in plan mode versus having it start working and it might hit an issue because it wasn't thinking about a further edge case or so. Alright, so many times you'll be asking Claude to handle multi-step implementations toward a feature, and this is exactly where plan mode excels. Nice. So it's an example is add a dark mode toggle. So let's walk through an example. Say you have an application that needs a dark mode toggle. Open the root directory of your project and run Claude. Yeah, we did that already. So, and then press Shift and Tab a couple times to switch to plan mode. For the fun of it, let's just do this again. So right now we're in auto mode, and we just press Shift and Tab. And now we're in plan mode, just like that. And then we go back. And it said, this is a prompt it's pretty much going to ask. So it's saying, my app needs a dark mode implemented across the entire app. Can you create a toggle switch on the header that allows a user to toggle between light and dark mode? I need to find a good contrast color that works based on my existing light theme. So that's a prompt it's going to ask it while in plan mode. And it said, let Claude plan it out. After reviewing the plan, if it looks good, accept it and let Claude ask you for any approval. If it looks good, accept it and let Claude ask you for approval at each step. At the end, you can see exactly what Claude did and how it reached its conclusions. One thing. So, recap. When using Claude Code, try to be as descriptive as possible with your prompt. If you want to stay in the loop at every step, you can. Use plan mode to let Claude dig into the details of what you want to achieve before executing any code. So again, we had the video up here, so I'm gonna go check this out. So it's 2 minutes.
You talk to Claude Code like you would talk to any AI assistant. When entering your prompt, here are some things that you can consider that can both protect and make things easier for you. You can choose whether Claude auto accepts every file change it suggests or require it to ask you for explicit permission each time. With Shift plus Tab, you can cycle between both modes. In Auto Accept mode, it will automatically approve an edit or creation of a file, but still ask your permission to run commands.
Okay.
There isn't a right or wrong way. It's just whatever you feel the most comfortable with.
Plan mode.
Within this Shift Tab menu is the Plan mode. Plan mode takes your prompt and uses read-only tools to analyze your codebase and do research on your suggested implementation. It will also...
So again, plan mode, it's not gonna start build out anything yet. It's just planning, just like it's like bounce some ideas, might ask you some clarifying questions, but not really gonna start writing any actual code until you're ready.
Questions on items that it wants clarification on. It then returns to you a long, detailed plan that it can execute on in more detail. Plan mode works great for planning complex changes or doing a safe code review. A lot of the time, you're asking Claude to do multi-step implementations towards a feature, and this is exactly what plan mode excels at. So, why don't we give it a try? I have an application here that desperately needs a dark mode toggle, so I'm going to use Claude Code to implement this for me. So I'm in the root directory of my project. I'm going to hit the Shift tab a couple times to go into plan mode. Then, let's write out the prompt. My app needs a dark mode implemented across the entire app. Can you create a toggle switch on the header that allows user to toggle between light mode and dark mode? I need you to find a good contrast color that works based on my existing light theme. And let's let Claude plan this out. And after reviewing, I think it looks pretty good. At the end of all this, we can see explicitly what Claude did and how it came to its conclusion. And the dark mode is looking pretty good. Awesome. When using Claude Code, try to be as descriptive as possible with your prompt. If you want to stay in the loop at every step, you can do that. Use plan mode to let Claude get a little bit more in the nitty-gritty with what you want to achieve before executing on that plan.
Alright, so if even after watching the video, we'll just do a quick skim through again. So your first prompt, you talk to Claude Code like you would any AI assistant. When entering a prompt, here are some things to consider that can both protect you and make things easier. So boom. So we know we can switch between the different modes now using Shift plus Tab. So approval mode is pretty much you're gonna have Claude pretty much ask you for permissions for editing files or doing any commands. If you do auto accept mode, file edits are automatically approved, but commands still require your approval. Nice. And there's an additional mode too called plan mode. And pretty much plan mode takes your prompt and uses read-only tools to analyze your code base and research your suggested implementation. So it doesn't start like writing any real code yet. It just kind of bounces ideas off of you just with like and asks clarifying questions just to make sure you have the right idea of what you're trying to accomplish. This is basically like a complex task, like a multi-step task or so. And then he used an example here. And then the recap, when using Claude, try to be as descriptive as possible with your prompt. If you want to stay in the loop at every step, you can use plan mode to let Claude dig into the details of what you want to achieve before executing on any code. So that's pretty much it for Claude 101, your first prompt. In the next one, we'll pretty much discuss Claude 101, the explore, plan, code, commit workflow. And just as a quick preview, let's just see what this is about. If you take one thing away from this course, or this sounds serious, let it be this workflow. Explore, plan, code, and commit. Without it, most people jump straight to asking Claude to write code. I am a victim of this sometimes, which means more course correction later on. That's definitely true. So in the next video, we'll handle the course, which will be explore, plan, code, and commit. But if you like this, just, get ready. We're going to learn a lot more. And, sometimes better to just learn with somebody and, you can add comments or support. But make a handle and learn all of this. You're with the Nerdy Army. And remember the motto, anybody can learn anything with time, practice, and failures. All right, I'm out.